The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this or any broadcast belong solely to our guests or our hosts. These broadcasts do not represent or reflect the views of their employers, sponsors, or affiliated organizations.
Welcome to the Flipboard EDU podcast with your host, William Jeffrey, where we collaborate, communicate, and educate with the greatest educators in the world on Flipboard. Let's start the show.
Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey. And on March 2nd, 2021, Texas Governor Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hey.
All right, good. Let me get you right, and we're gonna go live. I think we live. All right, let me pull up my screen and see how it's looking. Okay, I think we're going. I'm still learning how to do this thing right here. All right, Sister
It looks
Finley.
great. It looks great. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, no problem at all, man. You know, I always got to look out for my homie. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be starting off this with Miss Rhonda Finley. Hold on, let me see. Make sure I'm good to go. Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm going to count it down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to count it down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to talk, just record it. Just talk. We're going to talk about you being an instructional coach because that's all I know you as. So how's everybody doing, man? I miss you, dog. Where you been?
Everybody's good. I got my times off because my son just flew in from Las Vegas. So I was like, oh, I'll have time. I can run, pick you up from the airport because the podcast starts at 7:30.
Yeah.
But no, it was at 7. So my bad on that. My apologies.
Hey, man, no problem at all, player. You know, you my homie, so it's all good. All right, so count it down from the top, starting off 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey, and I have another amazing guest tonight, my good friend, Rhonda Finley. Rhonda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, Rhonda, tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I have been in education for about 16 years. I taught 4th grade for 8 of those years, 7 in Fort Bend ISD, and I got my master's degree from HBU in educational counseling. And at that time, right when I was getting ready to graduate, I transitioned from the classroom into being a digital learning specialist. And I was in that role for about 4 years. I supported about 5 campuses with, their technology PD and coming into the classroom and helping them to integrate technology with their students. And for the last 4 years, I've been an instructional coach at a Verizon Innovative Learning School. I was instrumental in writing a proposal to have one of our spaces transformed into a Verizon Innovative Learning Lab. And it's really beautiful. It's a pleasure to come to work every day. And so that's me in a nutshell. That's me.
Yes. Ms. Finley, when you were telling everybody about your successes in your career, you failed to mention that you came into my classroom probably about 7 years ago now. And I saw you teaching my students on how to use technology as an integration specialist. And I said to you, excuse me, ma'am, I didn't know y'all had jobs like that. So I'm going to allow you to claim you, Stacy, Monica. Yes. We were also co-workers at that time.
Yeah, I actually remember the story a little differently. I remember observing you with your students and thinking, wow, first of all, your content knowledge of aquatic science that you were teaching, that just blew my mind. there. And then the fact that you're a male teacher with great classroom, no offense to the males out there, great classroom management, and then you were integrating this technology into your classroom. I was just blown away. So I remember saying to you, when are you going to come and be a part of our department? Because we need somebody like you, with us. And then, yes, you said, oh, I didn't know you guys, needed anyone. And I remember going back and speaking with my coordinator and ranting and raving about what I had seen in your classroom. I was like, we got to get this guy. He has to be a part of our tribe. We need him. We need him. So we got
that
you.
was so nice. That was so nice of you to remember it in that way. So I've always known you as a mentor. You are an unofficial mentor for me. So as an instructional coach, how has this pandemic changed your role as an instructional coach?
So honestly, I've always been flexible, but this has really tested my ability, to be flexible. When we first, I guess hunkered down during the pandemic, I would literally be on, I believe we're using Zoom initially, and then we started using Microsoft Teams, but I would be online helping teachers and assisting them till like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because we were kind of in triage mode. Even though our campus has been a one-to-one environment for the last 4 years, it was still new for those who are resistant to change. You know what I mean? Those who just sort of said, okay, you can put your iPads underneath your desk and we're just going to use a pencil and paper. So just really checking in on people more, because people have been affected in more ways than one, with the pandemic. So not just assuming that because we hadn't heard from anybody that they were being negligent, but they actually were taking care of their households and their families. And so just really, checking in with our people a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we all had to be a little bit more nurturing during that time. Seems like a long time ago, but it was really just this time last year. Right. So, Rhonda, you're one of the most innovative instructional coaches that I know. What motivates you to continue to be as innovative what motivates you to be as innovative as you are?
Honestly, it's the students. I mean, when I was in the classroom, I only had 3 desktop computers, right? And then I had my own desktop computer. So my students knew that they were going to rotate and use those computers. I started to bring my laptop so they would have an extra computer. I had a smart board, so they would actually go into the Smart Exchange and create lessons to teach each other. And these were 4th graders. And so I wasn't always comfortable with the technology. I remember using readwritethink.org, had no idea how to help the kids save their projects, and they figured it out. Oh, Ms. Finley, when we save our projects, we actually have to go back into readwritethink.org and then open it up, once we've saved it on the computer. So we've made leaps and bounds since then. Like, they were always there. Okay, Ms. Finley, I have pictures over here and he's typing over there. How are we going to merge the two together? Well, Google was already doing that, right? Google was already, they already had collaborative docs and collaborative slides, but they wanted it. So just the fact, students now, me being in a middle school environment, because, elementary was my background, the students come and find me. They know that my office is located in the library. Miss Finley, you know what? You helped my math teacher. I really need you to see about this, social studies teacher, or, whatever it is. So the kids are the ones who are just like, help, we need your help in this classroom, please, so they want to do more. And, they don't want to be in a sit and get type of environment or lecture type of environment.
Yeah, I personally had a problem with lecture. I know there's sometimes you have to do what you have to do, but you have done some amazing things, even before the pandemic hit, coming to my classroom, supporting my students, when you were a digital learning specialist. And I know you were elementary, and I taught high school seniors, as a matter of fact. I really don't know why they sent you to my classroom, but I thank Lisa McMillan for doing it, because if it weren't for you and Stacy, I probably would still be in the classroom. So, but before the pandemic hit, what was your biggest accomplishment thus far?
Well, I think you would have found your way out of the classroom with or without us. We were just one path for you, and I think if that hadn't worked out, you would have found another. I mentioned it in my introduction. I'm at a Verizon Innovative Learning School, and so when we were in digital learning, one thing I can say is that we had each other, to support each other. And so little did I know that support would go away one day, and that I would be the one Lone Ranger on my campus. So honestly, we had already, done a Google Chromebook distribution at a very small level, right? And little did I know that was preparing me for an iPad distribution for 1,000 students on my campus, right? And that I would be overseeing that, in addition to helping with broadcasting, because broadcasting was being done on the old school intercom. And so I had to, dust off, the broadcasting equipment, and, teach the students and teachers how to use that equipment. And then I was presented by our SIM director with an opportunity to have a Verizon Innovative Learning Lab on our campus. And so it is this great collaboration between Arizona State University, Heart of America. They actually go around the United States transforming classrooms into amazing spaces, and Verizon and Digital Promise. I actually have a virtual, video of the space on Google Street View, where you can actually see it, or I can share it with you. So I think that's been the greatest accomplishment, to know that they would say, hey, we like what you had to say in this proposal, and we've come out to visit your campus, and we know that your kids are utilizing these devices to the fullest, because we can look in their photo albums and see, the work that they have been doing. So we want to give you $150,000 to transform this space, and we are going to equip it with Oculus Go headsets and, 3D printers and, 360 cameras. There's like a laundry list of things. I mean, it's just like any technology professional or students, dream. This is a beautiful workspace. So I must say that when people come to my campus, I say, would you like to come and visit our Verizon Innovative Learning Lab? So I would like to see it sustained 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Rhonda, I'm going to toot your horn just a little bit more. Getting on the job and learning how to be an elementary digital learning specialist was something very new to me. And if it wasn't for the great teamwork that we had in that department, those 26 of the most highly skilled professionals that I've ever just been around, as far as technology integration goes, and leading as far as the statewide presenting at conferences and writing books and all that. I was in heaven, and I was just like learning so much from you guys. So I know that lab it has to be amazing if you had something to do with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, you talked about earlier, the innovative lab. And I know that from the past, we have talked about communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity, which is fundamental in STEM and STEAM. So with all of that new technology and all of these old TEKS, which are the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, how are you combining those together to get good learning experiences?
So now we have kind of tacked on profile of a graduate, those attributes, which I can't spiel off right now. And also in the lab, we are talking about sustainable development goals with our students. And so just ensuring that they have those hands-on opportunities and that they understand why, and that they realize that you guys are our future. We're going to need you to solve, some of the issues that are going on in the world. So yes, we have this 3D printer here. What can we create? And having them watch other students create, having them watch other, I'm sorry, having them watch other students create, things that patients can use, for example, 3D hands or 3D legs for people who have lost a limb, things of that nature. Or, the kids are presented with problems like, okay, we've seen kids being left in their cars, in the heat. What can you do? What can you invent or create that would stop this from being a problem, so we can stop having this whole conversation? Or even, what about the wildfires in California? We had students we just gave them some hands-on tools, and some of the things that they came up with were simply amazing. I'm also thinking about another collaboration that we have going on our campus with Apple and Lamar and HCC. And so when I went through the PD, we actually learned how to create app prototypes. So we have people from the community to come out and say, hey, this is our company, and these are the things that we would like for our app to address. And so when I hosted our STEM camp for our kids, we presented them with the same opportunity. We had people come in from the community, and I still have some of their app prototypes. So I know we're going to have some app developers coming out of my campus. So that's going to be pretty amazing.
I know they will. When I was working with you real big, it was the iMovie. You taught me how to use iMovie in video, and look at me now. So I just, I'm just excited to see what you're going to come up with. I know that teaching computer science is huge these days, but how impactful is teaching computer science to girls?
Oh, wow. So we actually had a section of computer science being taught at our campus by an amazing teacher. And she was really, mortified about it because she didn't know the curriculum very well. And I reached out to one of our former DLSs, Jeannie Langston, if I'm allowed to throw her name out.
Shout out to Jeannie Langston. She is cold-blooded. She's great.
She is. She is. Yes. She came out to our campus and she loved our students, and she was like, I want to take them back to my campus with me. Yes. So we're really trying to get that section back on our campus. But I have a young lady who I am mentoring, and she was in the Innovative Learning Lab, and now she is in robotics. So they're a little different. And she was saying, I really don't want to be in here anymore. And I explained to her, look, we need more girls in coding, in robotics, in computer science. So, I think you're going to benefit from being in this class, and I'm going to come back. We're creating a video, or a compilation video for Verizon so that they can see, what we're doing on campus. So I encourage girls to, make sure that they are embracing STEM. And, I'm kind of rambling here, but I always tell them how when I was in middle school, my teachers didn't have any computers. You could not have told me that I would be an instructional technology coach. Really? What is that? So I just let them know this job was not even thought about when I was a kid. So just imagine all the jobs that are going to be out there when you're my age.
Yes. I also want to give a shout out to my cousin. Shout out to Alicia. They say that the second graders, 70% of the jobs that they're going to be going into haven't even been created yet. And if we continue the old style of stand up and lecture, sit and get, then those students are not learning those tools that you guys are sharing in your innovative lab.
I agree. And it's exhausting when you're listening to yourself talk all day long.
Yes, it is. And I mean, there's a place for that type of learning. I mean, there's some things that you need a sit and get lecture, but the problem with sit and get lectures is, how do you turn that into application? How are you actually using that? So what resources can you recommend for teachers to get started with incorporating like 4Cs or coding or any engaging activity if they don't have a $150,000 lab?
Gotcha. So I always start teachers off with an hour of code, honestly. And there is one particular code on that website. There are hundreds, but there's one particular one that's patterned after Moana for Disney. And so, of course, the boys are like, what, Miss Finley? But it honestly teaches you the building blocks of coding. I think Scratch is a great route to go because they have tutorials, for everything right there within the Scratch platform. There's also an organization called GWC, Girls Who Code, and I got to meet them. I went to an Apple conference in Arizona, and they were there. And so they provide the curriculum and everything for the girls. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure how a parent found out that I was, a sponsor, but she was at another campus in my district, and she called me, and I was like, what? How did you even find this? But apparently she Googled coding in our area, and my name popped up. So my name is synonymous with coding. So GWC, Girls Who Code, Scratch is a good one to use, and an hour of code.
Excellent. Yeah. And that's so true. And again, I was mentored by you, and I really appreciate all of the stuff that you taught me, simply because those are some things that I didn't even know about in the classroom. And it doesn't really depend on which subject that you teach, that you can incorporate all of those, Scratch, Girls Who Code, and any of the 4Cs simply into your curriculum. So, Ms. Finley, where can our listeners find you at?
Where can listeners find me? They can find me on Twitter. And I'm guessing that I should have my handle ready. You told me to change my handle a long time ago, and I did not.
It's okay. I kept mine too. And so now as I'm moving on up like George Jefferson, I'm trying to decide, should I keep the good old coach? It's too late now. I'm stuck with Coach Jeffrey, like regardless of whatever position I'm employed at, my social media will be Coach Jeffrey.
Especially since coaching takes on so many other, things now. It's not just about coaching sports.
You know what? Who knew that my ability to lose basketball games would allow me to make a podcast? That's a joke for all of you listening. I didn't lose that many basketball games, just enough.
Have to look back at the records. So R. Renee EdTech. Did I say that correctly? At R. Renee EdTech.
EdTech on Twitter.
And that's RENAE EdTech.
Gotcha. And then also too, are you presenting at any conferences virtually anywhere like that?
You know what? The year is not over, and usually Verizon or Digital Promise, they present us with opportunities to do so. I guess about once every 9 weeks, but no, nothing coming up for me.
All right. So, if all things go well and I can see you guys at ISTE, that would be like so great to unite with all of you guys at ISTE, that would be great. So just keep that, pencil that in on your calendar, and hopefully that's something that we all can get back together and do.
That'd be great.
Great. Hey, Miss Finley, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and you have a great day.
Thank you for having me, Coach Jeffrey. You have a great day as well.
Hold on one second, all right? I'm about to call you.
Okay.